Did someone say more football, please? Absolutely. Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee. Two teams coming off very close losses in their inaugural matchups in the SFLm season come to the city of country, Nashville, Tennessee, as the Tempo hosts the Albuquerque Atoms, both teams looking for their first win this season. Good evening, everyone from Nashville. I am Brett Solberg. Alongside with me is the queen of commentary herself, coming all the way from another game. It's Rochelle Colston. Rochelle, these two teams had great offenses, but struggled both defensively here. What's going to be the key to both these teams in trying to shore up these defenses and make sure that they come out with the dub?
Yeah, defense is definitely going to be a factor in this game tonight because both teams have very potent offenses. They spread their ball around to all their offensive weapons, so defense has to step up here tonight. Yeah,
both teams having huge offensive weapons, and we saw them in great examples in that first games on Tuesday. We're looking at guys like Roquan Dotz and Derrickis Iniguez that had huge games. And don't forget, Switch Thumper and Cables McGill on the other side. Very quiet but effective games. But we can speculate no longer, as Nashville will get the kickoff right at home first. And here we go from Nashville, Tennessee. Kickoff returned at the 10-yard line. Running is the receiver, Easton King. King gets it a little bit more up the middle and gets decent field position for Nashville here at the 36-yard line, and that is where Switch Thumper and company is going to start things off here. What's going to be the key to their offense here?
I think Switch Thumper has to keep spreading the ball around to all his weapons, get the run game established a little bit. I mean, like last week he was 19 of 32 for 270 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, so he had a pretty decent game last week himself.
Yeah, it's a big key there. Thumper had his efficiencies, and it led to touchdowns. 3 of them in that first week. First ball handoff is going to be to their running back, Ace Ketchum, who's going to get a nice 7 yards. And speaking of, let's talk about that Nashville offense. We've talked about Switch Thumper and Ace Ketchum. Fullback Stanley Younger. The receiver trio is Easton King, Kenny Hendricks, and Elliott Pope Jr. Dual tight end set with Cables McGill and Leon Sandcastle, and their offensive line led by center John Johnson. Handoff once again to Ketchum. This time is wrapped up, but manages to push through just a little bit more and makes it a 3rd and 1.
And last week Ketchum was 14 carries for 55 yards. He's off to a pretty good start here. Yeah,
they decided to go with a split back mentality. Both of their running backs had 14 carries. Younger was a little bit better with 55 yards. 3rd and 1, and they're going to set up in a heavy I formation. Ketchum is going to get the first down, and that's all he's going to get, just the yard, and Nashville will easily take that to move the chains.
Yep, as long as you get what you need, it's all that matters.
And at this point, you want to think about the time possession battle, even at the first possession of the game, and Nashville is just doing exactly what they want to. Full receiver set as Thumper drops the ball down, and he's going to get a receiver down the middle. It's Kenny Hendricks, and it's going to be a 9-yard gain. Sets up a 2nd and short.
That was a nice catch in heavy traffic there by the receiver.
It's really good when you have a 4 receiver set and you've got a lot of threats going on. Kenny Hendricks, 6'2", 202, Alamo City development player, getting that first catch of the football game from Thumper. Once again, another handoff to Ketchum. He's going to get that first down a little bit more, shitting off one tackler, and then gets eventually down by strong safety Dylan Bamsler. And let's go through that Albuquerque defense real quick. Defensive ends, they've got 2 of them in Lindsey Timpson and Dutarian Darshington. They've got 2 linebackers to key in on, Sonny Sky and Ben Bowman. And then their safety core is led by Sullivan Tyson, Roscoe Jenkins, and the tackler from earlier, Dylan Bamsler. Split back set here on first down, and he's going to get shut down immediately. Darshington coming from the edge side, getting immediately right to Ketchum's face.
And he just busted through like I don't think anybody touched him.
And he's not a hard guy to find. 6'5", 300 pounds of Darshington love coming right to Ketchum for that 2-yard loss. They're going to bring it 2nd and 12. They have Ketchum on the offside, but they're going to drop back for Thumper. He's got a little bit of time, throws it deep, almost intercepted in double coverage. Sonny Sky in front of the football, almost gets his hands on it, the Fort Worth development product.
Yeah, Sonny Sky shaking his head, and he should have caught that one.
Yeah, and that's probably what Albuquerque wants to get at this point of the game. If Nashville strikes early in home turf, that could spell doom, despite the first two games tonight, the road team winning this contest. 3rd and 12, they've got trips to the right side. Thumper to drop back one more time, finding his... No, he does not find his receiver. Hendricks was a little bit open, more open than I thought, and it was batted down by the defender. It's going to be 4th and 12.
That was number 24 with a deflection there. It's a great stop by Albuquerque, forces a punt from Nashville.
Yeah, and initially looking at that play, Hendricks had loads of space, but great close down speed from the corner, 24, like you said before, to get a stop to it. And it stops Nashville's good start to their drive. And they're going to try to pin this Albuquerque offense deep. Gets a friend here from Charles Brown, the punter from Canton. And Albuquerque will start things off just a little bit ahead of the 9-yard line. And now Roquan Dotz, he is the man of the week so far in terms of quarterbacks. 23 of 34 for 424 yards in the loss. How can he follow up that performance?
I don't know. That was quite impressive. I actually called that game last week.
3 receivers set for Albuquerque. They've got 2 on the right side. They've got a fullback and a halfback. They're going to motion one of their receivers. It's going to be Dalton Barker, the 6'2", 198 product. Play clock down to 2, and they are going to get it off. Dots to drop back on 1st down, and there's pressure from all sides, and eventually gets swarmed down. Walters with a key sack there.
That's number 95. I mean, they were just coming at him from both sides of the ball. He had no chance there.
Not a good start for Albuquerque, as that's going to push them back inside the 5 now. And it's going to limit their options as they now have their running backs standing inside their own end zone at this point. 2nd and 16. They are going to go with a strong ice set, but shift the fullback over right. And they are going to go with a handoff to Pepe Silva, who is going to cross the line of scrimmage, but doesn't get much more. They're going to give him 2 yards. Let's quickly talk about that Albuquerque offense. We know about the star of Tuesday, Roquan Dotz, and we've seen Pepe Silva. They also have another running back in Kane Hunter. Wide receiver trio includes Jonathan Hayes, Derrickis Iniguez, and Dalton Barker. 2 tight ends in Eddie Maddox and Jacob Riley, and they have 2 star linemen in Brunter Graham and Kate Palmer, as they're going to feed the ball to Kane Hunter, and that's an interesting play here on 3rd down and very long. They only get a couple yards. It's going to force a punt deep in their own end zone.
Well, I mean, I think they're playing it safe. They didn't want to pass that deep in their end zone. Pretty smart, but now you're going to give Nashville some great field position.
And it's very interesting because Nashville doesn't have, that star-studded set of defensive players. They only have 6 contracted defenders, including defensive end Connor O'Shaughnessy, defensive tackle Ralph Leopold, outside linebacker Dallas Knowles, and then their secondary, including Bentley Bonner and safety Chris Delroe, as Albuquerque will start things off in really good field position, basically almost at the same spot that they were before at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you don't pass on 3rd down and you're in, this is what happens.
And I think they were just not trying to play the risk of getting a safety and having Albuquerque start off with a 2-0 lead. But this potentially could be more points if Nashville can start things off. Switch Thumper to drop things off, finds Hendricks on that in route, and he gets a couple extra yards, make it 9, sets up a 2nd and 1.
A nice play there by Nashville. Just outside that field goal range at this point.
Doesn't have to be pretty. As long as you get that open pass and you have a running lane, you can turn, a 3-yard play into a 9-yard play, which we saw there. Weak eye formation. They are going to hand it off to Stanley Younger, the fullback, playing in the halfback position. He's going to power his way through past the 1st down marker and then some, getting close to the 30-yard line.
I think we'll see that a lot tonight. The halfback and fullback switch in the formation.
And we're going to see it here immediately. We got Younger again. The lone back this time. They're going to have 2 tight ends on the right side, 2 receivers, 1st and 10. And scratch that, they're close to the 20-yard line. They're going to toss it to Younger, and he's going to push his way through 4 5 yards, decent blocking, eventually tackled down by Bamsler once again, and he's going to have a tough task because he's got to cover those receivers. He's got to worry about whether Ketchum or Younger is going to have that football on runs.
Nashville right now is moving the ball very methodically down the field.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered early in this game. If they can control time possession, it doesn't give Albuquerque much chance to respond. 1st and 10, they're going to give it to Younger one more time. Pushes again past the first down marker. They're going to give him 1st and goal. He got him right at the 10-yard line. And just like you said, methodical runs that's leading them to these goal line situations.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Ketchum back in the game yet. That's 3 fullback runs in a row.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Ketchum is, the shorter, maybe more agile product, 6'2", 225, as opposed to Younger, who's 6'4" and 235, and Younger is back there once again. 2 receivers set, Twins on the right side. Thumper back to throw. He's got plenty of space going through, and is intercepted! Key goal line stop from Albuquerque stops another Nashville drive in enemy territory, and that's another lifeline given to Albuquerque.
Wow, they be in the right place at the right time. The receiver got behind him. They jumped the route. He came down with the football. Great play by the secondary. And
it was a decent route from Kenny Hendricks as well. It was just an ill-advised throw from Thumper. He decided to laser it and instead of maybe arcing it over to the 6'2" product in Hendricks. And now Albuquerque's going to start at the 20-yard line. It's a much more favorable position than they had in their last drive. That was at the 9-yard line. They're going to shift the receiver in motion. That is Iniguez, and I would focus on him on this play. There's a lot of space between him and what looks to be Delro. Dots the reel back. He's throwing on the run, and it's in and out of the hands of Iniguez. That was the intended target. They went down the middle, and it just wasn't in his hands.
He needs to catch that. He was open in the middle of the field, and the ball hit his hands. He need to catch those.
Yeah, and like I said, Iniguez is going to be that key player of that receiver trio. He is the star guy. He's the fastest of the bunch, and he is the more experienced. He is an LA product, something that you should know, Rochelle.
Definitely. He was a returner for Los Angeles for, half the season. So he is very fast.
Yeah, Dot's back to throw, and it just way too quick of a pass. I don't think that receiver was ready. It's going to set up a very quick 3rd and 10. No yards gained through the first 2 plays.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't had a score yet. This deep into the first quarter.
3 receivers set here on a shotgun formation. They've got Silva there to protect Dots. And they are going to shift the receiver out to the left. And again, it's Iniguez coming in to the slot side, looking for potential mismatches, and that might be the one. Play clock down to 3. They get it off. Dots to step back deep. He's inside the 10-yard line looking to throw, and it is deflected off a defender. That's going to be Dallas Knowles getting his hand up on the football. And 2 drives, -1 yard for Albuquerque to start off their contest.
Yeah, compared to the game they had last week, it's very, very shocking right now.
And that just adds more credit to that Nashville defense, where you have to remember the second half of their game in that eventual loss that they had to Lexington, they allowed 0 points. So they've improved their defense magnificently already, as Hendricks is going to get a couple yards off that punt return. And once again, look at this, Rochelle. They're back at the 45-yard line. It's like they never left.
Wow. I mean, what great field position to start off your first 3 drives.
Yes,
kind of crazy.
This drive has to count, though, because there's still a goose egg under that Nashville name in terms of points. They're 0 for 2 in scenarios like this. So something has to give, either offensively or defensively, for either side. What is Swish Thumper and company going to do? First off, 1st and 10, Twins right. And it's going to be a delayed handoff. They're going to give it to Younger one more time. Does get stuffed on that first line of defense. Stopped by Ben Bowman. That's going to be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and then that time Albuquerque was ready for that little play. Didn't fool anybody.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of more of these draw plays, because if you looked at the Chicago game on Tuesday, they utilized that to great work to get Isaac Knox a huge game, and we saw that more again in their huge game. They ended up scoring 52 points as Thumper has lots of time down, looking for Easton King, was under triple coverage, and the defender, Roe Sullivan Tyson, gets his hands on the football, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and I think that was not a very smart move by Switch Thumper. That ball was thrown into very heavy coverage. He was not open. Risky throw.
Yeah, we've seen a couple risky throws now from Thumper. He's got to calm things down. Now 3rd and 8, they got trips bunch tight on the left side. Thumper going to drop back one more time, has a little bit of pressure, so he's going to move back a little bit further. Slings it off and finds Hendricks down the right side. He's got some space. Spin move! Gets past the defender and into the end zone. Nashville breaks the deadlock, 6-0 for the Tempo.
Wow, he just kept backing up and backing up and backing up. He finally found the receiver, who was basically wide open. A little spin move at the end to avoid the defender, and he scores. Wow.
Yeah, Roscoe Jenkins, I think your jock is around the midfield line at this point. Great spin move from Kenny Hendricks to get past that last defender. And like you said, once he got that catch, it's about 5 or 6 yards before a defender actually got to him. And Nashville breaks this deadlock here after 2 failed chances. Extra kick coming from Takeda Yuki, the kicker, and it's up and good. Early 7-0, or I shouldn't say early, but it's 7-0 lead now for the Nashville Tempo. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the join the community button and begin your career or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved, especially here, because once you can join and start a player, you are immediately on a roster team. As the return from Iniguez gets to the 32-yard line, and now Albuquerque's 3rd drive of this game, I stated it earlier, -1 yard through the first 2 drives. What, Rochelle, does Albuquerque need to do to get positive yardage?
You need to establish some kind of run game by committee like they did last week or something.
And you have to remember there was 5 different players that had their hands on the football on runs, but they're going to start off with a pass here on 1st down. And out of the hands of the defender. Very risky throw from Dotson. I think Nashville's focusing on trying to limit completions from the young rookie in Dots.
Yeah, I think they're covering Iniguez pretty well. He's forced after the other receivers. Not making very smart throws at the moment either.
Yeah, and I think on Tuesday, people were surprised when they saw him trot out on the field as a quarterback. You got to remember, he's going to be the tallest quarterback coming into the SFL at 6'8". You don't see quarterbacks like that in the league. 2nd and 10 now. Twins to the left. And they are going to hand it off to Ketchum. Oh, no, excuse me, that is going to be Silva. And he's going to get decent amount of yardage. It's going to be 6 yards, and that's going to help them open up that playbook now for 3rd and 4.
Yeah, definitely 3rd and 4 is more manageable than before. Your playbook's wide open. You can either throw the ball here or you can do another run.
And if I'm Roquan Dotson company here, I would focus on maybe going with a short pass. You don't have to throw it deep because Nashville's had those deep passes covered so far in this 1st quarter. They're going to pass here on 3rd, and they are going to throw short, but it is to double coverage intended for Jonathan Haynes, and that's going to be another 4th down, a quick 3 and out once again for Albuquerque.
I think that time he hit Bentley Bonner in the back. Number 22, the defender.
Yeah, and Bonner was strictly focused on defending the receiver. He didn't know that it hit his little tuchus there, and now it's 4th and 4. And once again, Albuquerque's going to punt this out, but they're going to pin him a little bit deeper than usual. And it's going to be returned at around the 29-yard line. He's going to get a little bit of space, but now this is going to be Nashville's deepest start. But even then, it's at the 36-yard line, so they could still get 65 yards to the end zone if they need to. And after that hot pass, things are looking real up for the Nashville offense.
Yeah, you're acting like 36 is like bad field position. I guess it is for them, really.
Yeah, at this point, they've had really good field position through this 1st quarter. The 36 is their deepest so far. They are going to have twins to the right, which is going to switch into a split receivers as Hendricks goes out to the left. It's going to be a handoff to Younger, and he's going to try to push his way through down the middle and does get 3 yards. Set up 2nd and 7.
Albuquerque has no cornerbacks, so you have generic players on these wide receivers. Not a very good matchup.
Yeah, that could spell potential doom if those linebackers aren't going to be ready for pass coverage, which Thumper's going to throw that football out, which they're not going to do again. This time is going to be another run to Younger. They've been feeding Younger a lot more this time as opposed to Tuesday night, and this time only gets about a yard or two, but it's going to set up a third and medium situation, 3rd and 6.
And once again, Bowman was in on the stop. We said his name a lot so far.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be that key guy that's going to try to key in on those running backs on that second level where they have Sunny Sky as more of a pass option. Thumper back to throw on 3rd down. He's going to sling it deep and finds his target, albeit on tough coverage. Kenny Hendricks is having a great first quarter.
And Dylan Bamseller's strong safety was right there with him. A great throw and a great catch.
Yeah, all the corners were right there with him too. Even Roscoe Jenkins, the free safety, playing corner in that position and basically throwing in double coverage with Thumper. That's going to be great confidence when Hendricks catches that football. Now 1st and 10, back at the 40-yard line, their most familiar territory so far in this first quarter. And they are going to hand it off to Ketchum, who is going to get a little bit of space and push through for 4 yards. It's the first time we've seen Ketchum in a little while here in this first quarter, and it pays dividends.
Definitely, mostly we've been seeing the fullback Stanley Younger in the backfield, but nice to see after I say that, Younger's back in the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've seen a lot more Stanley Younger on these formations, especially in this 2-receiver set, this Twins formation. This time they're going to move a tight end out. It's going to be Cables McGill moving left to right, maybe adding a little bit more protection onto that right side. Instead, they're going to hand off to the left for Younger, and maybe that shift of formation from McGill just led to Sunny Sky getting an open tackle, and Younger only gets about half a yard.
Yeah, great pursuit there by Sunny Sky. Seeing where the ball was going, wasn't fooled by that right side shift at all.
And I would say Sky had the most benefit out of all these development players from Albuquerque, as he had a lot of time at Fort Worth. That's a great organization to learn your skill from. Thumper once again scrambling around, trying to find an open target, overthrows his receiver. I believe that was Hendricks one more time, and it doesn't get into his hands. It's going to set up a 4th and 4 as we end this quarter.
And that ball was just a little bit overthrown, Brett.
And that is 1 quarter in the books here in Nashville. The Tempo have an early 7-0 lead, but it feels like a lot more seeing the stats. This is the SFLm on YouTube. Start of the second quarter here in Nashville. I'm Brett Solberg along with Rochelle Colston. And Nashville is going to have another enemy territory punt here on 4th down. Charles Brown looking to pin Albuquerque deep once again. And that football is going to roll straight into the end zone. It's going to lead to a touchback. Albuquerque going to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief as they start things off at the 20-yard line. And first quarter woes for Albuquerque to start things off. They haven't had a lot of momentum until that end of that first quarter. Their last drive saw a little bit of success, but only really got 4 yards. They need to find something offensively that's going to work.
It definitely is not like Albuquerque at all compared to last week.
No, it feels like complete opposite as we go 1st and 10, 3 receivers out. They got a fullback on the offside, and they're going to hand it off. It's going to be to Kane Hunter. I believe that's the first time we talked his name out, and he's going to get 2 yards after a decent tackle from the outside linebacker, 2nd and 8.
Yep, it is the first carry of the night for Kane Hunter. I mean, they have 2 halfbacks.
And we've seen a couple of Pepe Sylvia so far, but a lot of throws in that first quarter from Roquan Dots, which hasn't found his target in that first quarter. They're going to shift the receiver out, and Dots is going to have a 3-step drop. Finds it. Oh, the receiver was open out there. That was Jacob Riley, the 6'4" tight end, but it finds his shoulder pad instead of his hands. 3rd and 8.
Lots of drops by these Albuquerque receivers, which is not like last week at all.
No, not at all. We look at even guys like Derrickis and Miguez, who's coming off a 13-reception game for 260 yards, and he doesn't have a reception yet. Third down, and they're going to drop back for Dots. He's going to find in and out of his target. Jonathan Haynes had the football, and it was jarred loose by the Nashville defender. And again, Albuquerque's going to be trotting off the field with just 2 yards to their name, 4th and 8.
And it's not like Dots making bad passes. They're just dropping them.
And that's exactly it. You can't fault Dots on these throws because he's finding his targets. It's just the third drop of this game it's starting to get more deflating offensively for Albuquerque as they punt this football away. And Nashville once again going to get really good field position. Hendricks is going to push a little bit forward. A nice 5-yard punt return to the Nashville 45. And again, if you just want to look at perspectives of field positions just to start off this game, Nashville has been either close to the midfield or already in enemy territory, whereas Albuquerque, I don't think, have started past the 20-yard line.
I believe you are correct, Brett.
And it's always tough to start from behind, literally, instead of in the scoreboard. So Albuquerque needs to figure something out offensively. It's going to work, but Nashville is going to trot out their offense once again, and I believe their plan is to keep dominating this time possession. 1st and 10. Twins left. Thumper steps back. It's going to be a pass. Trying to find his target, and it's in and out of his hands, but a flag is thrown on the field. This might be potentially pass interference, which it is.
That's a huge penalty, Brett.
It is a
35-yard line of Albuquerque now.
That's pretty much 20-25 yards of penalty work, and it was unfortunately on Dylan Bamsler, the strong safety, who's going to have a really tough time trying to cover all the receivers. Cables McGill almost had that catch in and out, and they determined it wasn't a football play, and there we are once again, Nashville in enemy territory just in one play. 1st and 10, split backs. They got 2 receivers to the right. They're going to move Younger over to an offset tight end position now. It's going to be a toss to catch him, and he sheds off the one tackler behind the line and manages to get 5 yards out of it. Great work from Ketchum to shed that one tackle off of Ralph Leopold, who had him right away, but just shed it off, and now it's 5 yards.
Yeah, I thought they really had him in the backfield there, but great job by the running back. Pick up the 5 yards.
Well, check that. That was defensive end Lindsey Timson. The 2 roster pages I have on my screen, I switch the names a lot of the time. It's not been my great work. Handoff once again to Ketchum, and he's going to power his way through to get past the 1st down marker. And that's all Nashville wants from Ketchum at this stage of the game. Just move the chains.
Now you're 1st and 10 on 25. Approaching that red zone quickly.
And this is where having a full special teams comes to effect, because even if you can't get past this 1st down, you have a trusted kicker in Takeda Yuki that could come in at any point. His Younger just pushes forward, and forget about not getting that 1st down. He does it in one run, gets his head right at the 1st down marker, 1st and 10.
He's having an impressive game, Brett. He really is.
Yeah, I don't think Albuquerque has been quite ready for a more single mentality running game from Nashville. We've seen a lot of Younger through this 1st half so far, and maybe a couple carries here and there from Ketchum, but right now it has been the Younger show as another delayed handoff goes to Younger. And again, look at the wide open space past that 2nd level of defense, and feels like it's almost too late before they get to Younger, but they stop him for 7 yards.
He's picking up around 6 or 7 yards per carry.
And he's only been stopped at 2 or 3 yards a couple times, but we've seen a lot of big runs so far from Younger. He's definitely been the player of the 1st half to help Nashville get this early lead. It'll be 1st and 10, a handoff stretch out to Ketchum. He had open space further to the right side, but he decided to cut in, and it's nonetheless a 1st down for Nashville and another 1st and goal.
Yeah, Albuquerque's got to find an answer for these runs.
Yeah, Nashville is, I wouldn't say flip the switch in terms of offensive mentality, but you can tell right away that run game is very important for them tonight, as it's been key moving down the field. 1st and goal, get a heavy set, 1 receiver on the far side. If they're going to use him, it's going to be a fade, but they're going to power it through. to Stanley Younger, who's going to just walk his way to the end zone. That's 2 straight touchdowns for Nashville. Now 13-0.
And that time the offensive line just gave him this huge hole to walk through. Great blocking in front of him. Resulted in another touchdown.
They kind of played flip reverse. They had Ace Ketchum as the fullback option to help block for Younger. And that's what helped. There was that additional block that Ketchum had to help Stanley get to the end zone. And now 13-0. Yuki is going to curve that ball into the uprights for the extra point. Now make it 14 to goose egg in favor of Nashville. You liking the game so far? Why don't you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. Jeez, Ken, that's a lot. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLm action and help the channel grow through your support. As a return from Iniguez comes down to the 33-yard line, and with Nashville now scoring on 2 of their last 3 drives, Albuquerque desperately needs a response with 6:45 left in the second.
And speaking of that, we have another game going on right now besides ours, Brett.
That's very true. We're going to start off here 1st and 10. As I forget team names in my head, I apologize to the other game going down right now. 14-0 here in Nashville. Albuquerque starting off their drive, the 33-yard line. They're going to hand it off. And it's going to get some decent yardage. So it's going to be good work from Sylvia to get 6 yards, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, I think Albuquerque needs to start running the ball a little bit more, keeping the defense honest. They've been passing the ball a lot so far in the first half.
Early first quarter for San Jose and Bossier City. This is Bossier City's first home game. If you want to look at the other game going live right now, toss play going to Kane Hunter, and he's going to be stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him a yard on that, but that is a tough hit from the linebacker.
Yep, he woke up and chose violence this morning, Brett.
Yeah, and I think that's what Nashville's defense needed. Like we said earlier, not a lot of star defensive contracted players, but the ones that we haven't named have really stepped up to help this defense going. 3rd and 3, they're going to hand it off to Hunter, and he's just going to get enough for the first down. Albuquerque now with their first down of the game halfway through the second quarter. That's got to be a good sign for them.
Definitely, they're moving the ball, methodically like, Nashville's been doing. Hopefully they stall.
An interesting thing on those set of downs, no passes or no pass attempts from Roquan Dots. It was all 3 runs. 1st and 10, they have that heavy set again. And speak of the devil, Dots is going to throw that football and finds his receiver. Good catch from Matty Maddox. He's going to shed a tackle and get a little bit more. Now this Albuquerque offense is starting to roll a little bit here.
That time you had tight end. Terrible mismatch with the corner. Got in front of him. Big body, big catch.
Yeah,
tackle with number 38.
That seemed to be the perfect offensive play on what looked to be a zone defense from Nashville. And just holes are going to be open, especially for those tight ends. If you're going to look on that zone defense, the tight end is your best friend. 1st and 10 now. Dot's going to step back. Quick drop, almost intercepted by one of the corners. And Nashville is really plugging up that middle of the field.
And last week, the Adams, the middle of the field was their bread and butter. They must have been scouted very well this week.
Yeah, and give credit to the coaching staff on both teams here. A quick turnaround, just 3 days from their last game. And they have to basically game plan for a completely different opponent for each of them. 2nd down, Dot's going to step back once again, fakes the handoff, and he's going to scramble, but gets another stuff. This time it's Dallas Knowles that gets to Roquan Dots at the line of scrimmage.
And you hate to see your quarterback take off that way in the middle of a game because, but he was hit really hard at the end.
Yeah, and I don't think he had a choice. That pocket was just disintegrating each millisecond that he was thinking of throwing that football, so he had to go. But I don't think he was ready for a Dallas Knowles smackdown. 3rd down, they're going to go for a 3rd straight pass attempt, and Dots is going to step back even further. And again, another drop from the Albuquerque receivers. Haynes drops his 2nd of the game, and that's what you not need. It's a wide open pass. You have to catch those.
I mean, these receivers, that's what you're paid to do. If it's in your hands, there's no excuse. You weren't hit. There's nobody around you.
Geez, it's like you're talking with a fellow wide receiver here and telling me that I'm missing some drop passes. Nonetheless, Albuquerque's going to punt this off, and again, they're looking to pin him deep. And they are going to pin him a little bit. It's going to be inside the 20, just a little bit inside. But it's going to be Nashville's deepest start of the football, just inside the 20.
Finally.
Excuse me. Now it's Nashville's time to work here. You've got 80 yards to the end zone, says Albuquerque. Let's see what you can do. They're going to start off with a heavy set with 2 receivers. This feels like prime territory for Stanley Younger, but they're going to drop it down for Thumper to throw. He's got plenty of pocket space, and he's going to find a receiver. That's his favorite target so far in this game. Kenny Hendricks comes with another catch and another first down for Nashville.
And that was great composure by Switch Thumper because they were converging on him pretty quickly.
Yeah, I
he
think
just took his time and threw the ball.
And I have to think he's found that composure now that he's, stood in the sidelines for Las Vegas this season and was able to, learn from Eric Price and company on, the right time to throw the football. And right now, Kenny Hendricks has been his favorite target through these first 2 games. You got to remember, 7 receptions from Hendricks last game, and now he's got about 4 here tonight. They're going to shift Hendricks over to the slot side on the right. Play clock down to 5, and they are going to hand it off to Ketchum. It's going to be a straight gut run, and there's open space. Good job from the offensive line to give Ketchum the space and get him 7 yards.
Yeah, both of these backs from Nashville are doing a good job out there, getting, the yards that they need, converting the first downs on the short yardage.
Yeah, and that's been key to Nashville's success is, the opening of the gaps from the offensive line to give their running backs a lot of help. Handoff once again. This time is going to be Younger, but the defensive line was ready to shut things down so Sunny Sky can get to Younger. It's going to be a loss of 1.
This is one of the few times we've seen a loss by the running backs from the Nashville side.
I would say for the first or second time we've seen a tackle for a loss, and you see it there. Not even through the first half, and Sunny Sky already has 8 tackles, been heavily involved in the Albuquerque defense. And this time on 3rd down, they're going to hand it off to Younger. He sheds through that tackle on the line of scrimmage and has open space to get that first down. And that's going to be Nashville's MO through the rest of this half. Just focus on running the football and getting first downs.
And I think, Albuquerque needs to step up here and get their defense off the field.
Yeah, they definitely need to start bringing pressure to Thumper if he's going to drop back for a pass. But they got split backs, and they've done this a couple times, and now they've tossed it to Ace Ketchum. This time he goes to the right side and gets 4 yards with a nice block from one of his linemen.
And good job by the by the defense to converge on the ball. And only stop up a gain of 4 yards.
Yeah, and then 4 yards, right now at this point is successful for Albuquerque's defense. They don't want Younger or Ketchum to get those big passes. Delayed handoff this time on the split backs. And Sunny Sky once again getting to the running back, this time at the line of scrimmage. They're going to get no yards on that.
And defense wasn't fooled at all by that, Brett.
No, and they've run that split back formation 2 times in a row. This time they got them stuffed right when they try to go with a delayed handoff. And now it's going to be 3rd and 5. And if I'm Nashville, maybe it's time for Thumper to pass this ball out. But instead, they're going to wait for the 2-minute warning here in Nashville. It's still 14-0. Nashville offensively has had the domination so far. Can they continue carrying this forward through the last 2 minutes? Final 2 minutes of the first half, and the Nashville fans definitely have some smiles on their faces. It's an early 14-0 lead for the Tempo as they're here on 3rd and 5. They're going to move Kenny Hendricks to the right side, balancing out the formation. We've seen the split backs a couple times, and this time they are going to step back for Thumper, and he's going to find a target. Great catch from the tight end McGill to get that first down.
And Thumper's doing a good job of spreading the ball around here. He's finding an open man. Great route in front of the secondary.
Yeah, that's going to be tough coverage for Ben Bowman, no matter what the situation is. If you have a wide receiver or a tight end, you're either losing speed or you're losing strength. This time he just lost it in the strength department. And Cables McGill gets his first catch of the game, pushing Nashville to almost the 30-yard line here on first down. Toss play. 2 Younger going right, and the defense was ready for it. 3 pursuing defenders, and it was finished off by 26. And it's going to be 2nd and 9, just a 1-yard gain. Back up again for 2nd and 9. It's that split back formation that we've seen now a couple times. It's going to be a toss to the left to catch him. And one of the defenders was almost ready to get to him. And Sky was almost got that. But Ketchum still gets a decent amount of yardage. First timeout called by the Tempo.
You know, that toss play is either, a big win or a big loss. That time it really worked for him.
Yeah, and now that we've seen Ketchum a few times in the second quarter, that run game is now becoming that balance that we saw back on Tuesday. It's going to be 2nd and 4. They're going to move McGill over to the left. Thumper back to throw, 5-step drop, finds Hendricks down the middle, and he's got space to move, gets inside, almost to the 5-yard line, and Nashville's threatening to score one more time before half. Second timeout called.
Wow, Brett, that just looked too easy. Look at that, standing in their front yard playing pitch and catch.
Yeah, and look at the stat already. First half, he's got an Iniguez type of game so far. Kenny Hendricks, 119 yards. We're not through the first half yet. It's been great work from this offense to get Hendricks involved a little bit more than he did in the last game, just 60 yards. Now Thumper back to throw and finds a target, but they're going to say he doesn't get to the end zone. The football did not cross that end zone plane, but nonetheless a great catch. They're going to have a goal, 2nd and goal right at the goal line.
Wow.
Almost had his feet inside the end zone and would have counted, but since his feet were on the line and they had to trust on the football, and now they're going to go inside the 1. Hendricks going to move to the left. They've got Younger, the big bruiser, behind, but they're going to go with a quick pass right to Hendricks on the in route, and he is wide open for a touchdown once again for Nashville, and it's been all tempo in the first half.
I'm not really sure what happened, Brett, how he became that wide open in the end zone.
That's interesting because it was just a quick in. There was no, 2-yard, 3-4 yard straight and then cut in. He just went straight in, and there was no second line of defense. They might have been too focused on trying to defend the back of the end zone that the front of the end zone was wide open, and that's why Hendricks got the touchdown pass. Yuki again curves that kick a little bit to the left, but they're going to give him the extra point. Now it's 21 unanswered points in the first half for the Nashville Tempo, and they are about a minute and a bit away from having 4 quarters of 0 points allowed. This Nashville defense, can they do it for 53 more seconds?
That's pretty impressive, especially with this, coming here with Albuquerque, who had a great game last week, had 424 yards, and shut them down in the first half.
Especially after a shaky start in the first half on Tuesday where they allowed 28 to Lexington. It's a great turnaround for them. Iniguez gets the kickoff and gets up to the 32-yard line. And now Albuquerque's going to start themselves with about 50 seconds left. Can they get themselves a score? It is Haynes. Thank you for the check down on that. And my question is, can Albuquerque get to the end zone with 50 seconds left and get at least a little bit of momentum carrying forward to the halftime talk?
Or get any points at all. I mean, I didn't even get a field goal at this point.
They do have all 3 timeouts, and they're going to start off with Twins left. We've seen this a few times where it's just led to a run, but Dots is going to step back to throw. He's going to go with the shorter target, and that is going to be Iniguez for a 9-yard gain. Albuquerque calls their first timeout.
I'm surprised they're using the timeouts that early, but
yeah, at this point, if you've got your playbook open, I'd be looking for passes to receivers near the sideline so they can get out of bounds. That way you don't have to use your timeouts. They're going to call it 2nd and inches. It's going to be 9.5. They're going to give to Iniguez. Speaking of, he's going to move over from right to left, moving to the slot side, turning that back to Twins again. Dots back to throw, 5-step drop, finds his receiver. That's Iniguez again, down the middle of the field, getting close to the 40-yard line. 2nd timeout call from Albuquerque.
Now, where's his offense been all game?
That's what I was thinking inside my head here, but I didn't want to say it out loud. But that's true. We haven't seen, 2 consecutive pass catches from receivers. We've seen more drops than we have consecutive catches. And this is a good sign for that Albuquerque offense. Again, they're going to move a receiver. I think that's Iniguez again. Moving from slot side to slot side on the right now. And Roquan Dots with a quick drop off, and he overthrows his target. And look to be Iniguez again, who I would say at this point in this game, I would be looking for him since he's going to be your X factor moving forward.
Yep, and you'll see him all over the field. You'll see him at halfback in some cases. You'll see him lined up all over the place.
Yeah, Albuquerque like to experiment in their game against Philadelphia. And like I said, we saw 5 different players get a carry in their game. They're going to move a tight end over from right to left. That's going to be Eddie Maddox. Dots back to throw, quick drop. He's going to find a target. It's going to get a couple yards. And he goes one more time. They're going to call their final timeout. So they better start focusing on sideline plays from here on out.
Definitely, in that time, the receiver was hit very hard by the defender.
Very, very hard. And for wide receivers, sometimes hitting that ground after a hit hurts a little bit more than some other players. They're going to go quads here on 2nd down, which is going to turn into a trips bunch as they move Haynes over to that slot side on the right. Play clock down to 5. They're going to get it off. Dots with a 5-step drop. And it's tipped by the defender. Almost intercepted. It's going to be, scratch that, not 3rd down. It's going to be 4th and 8 for Albuquerque.
And not a good half at all by Albuquerque as far as offense goes.
Yeah, and what looked to be a promising 2-minute drill ends in a little bit. Look at this here. They do have their offense back out for 4th down. Back to their quads formation. Dots gonna go for 4th down, trying to find a receiver way too far from his man. That's gonna be a turnover on downs, and Nashville will get the ball back with 23 seconds left in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, Haynes is only 5'10" out there. You threw that way over his head.
Yeah, and we're talking about new age receivers and how, you don't see all your receivers being 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". And Jonathan Haynes is one of those examples. 5'10", 190. You can't throw those passes way over his head like he did there. Now Nashville's going to have the ball at the 40-yard line, and potentially they could cause damage if they want to with 23 seconds left. It's a straight handoff. He's going to catch him. He's going to move off tackle to the right. They get stopped behind the line, and I'd imagine this will be the last play of the quarter, last play for the half as well for both these teams. And you can see Nashville slowly trotting down. I don't think they're going to snap this one off.
Oh.
And they
will.
Do. They do. It's a counter play for Ketchum, and he will get a couple yards. They're going to give him 4 on that one as we end the half with Nashville so far blanking Albuquerque. It's 21-0 heading into halftime. Rochelle, what has been the key to Nashville's success?
Their run game. I mean, they're switching it up. They're mixing their runs and the passes, and their run game's working.
I can't agree much more on that. They've used a lot of that first quarter to focus on Stanley Younger getting those passes, but you have to credit the defense. You just saw the stat line there. Roquan Dots starting off this half 4 of 16. That's not a number that's great for quarterbacks. And right now, all the Albuquerque highlights have been punts at this point. As opposed to Nashville, you see Switch Thumper. He's got 9 of 14. Ketchum and Younger both have probably almost the same amount of carries. probably around 30 between the two, which has really helped that pass game, like you said, get open. And the main man of the half, Kenny Hendricks, being the benefactor of that opening of that passing offense. 120 yards through the first half. Now, can Nashville carry this momentum heading to the second half, or will this be a Uno reverse card for them and they have no points in the second half like they did to their opponents, Lexington, in week 1, as the third quarter is about to begin here in Nashville, Tennessee. The Music City are loud and proud for their Tempo faithful as they will kick it off to Albuquerque. 21-0, here we go. That kickoff will go inside the 5-yard line, and Iniguez does get a decent return out of it, past the 30 to the 33-yard line. And for Albuquerque, something has got to change in terms of their offensive approach.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, their offense has been really flat today. A lot of drop passes by the receivers.
Yeah, and I think one of the chats at the in the halftime with the coaching staff was, drop the boxes of popcorn, lay off the Butterfingers, get the potato chips out of your hands. You got to catch some footballs, ladies and gentlemen. Roquan Dots, like I said earlier, 4 of 16 in the first half. Can he turn things around? They're going to start things off with a handoff to Kane Hunter, stretching over to the right side for 2 yards.
Yeah, I don't agree with I do agree with him running the ball on first down. You got to make something happen here. You got to mix it up.
I think for Albuquerque, they just need to establish something at this point, because the run game has either been there or it hasn't. And right now, the pass game, I don't know if you can trust that at the moment. So maybe the run game is where you need to go. Toss play to Hunter, but Nashville had that scouted a mile away as they had tremendous pressure on the left side, and that's going to be 3rd and 11.
So once again, Albuquerque's 3rd and long. You're forced to pass here. Hopefully you can, have a receiver catch the ball.
And yeah, they're going to bring the thunder. It's going to be 4 receivers, that quad set we talked about, as Dots will drop back 5 steps. He's got an open receiver and finds his man. Great catch from Delton Barker. That's the first time we talked about him today. He has space on the outside, gets great yardage, and that is the first sign of life to Albuquerque's pass offense.
And that time, Dalton Barker just found himself open behind the defenders, but the speedy, defender caught up with him at the end.
They're going to give him 40 yards, which is definitely going to help the cause of Albuquerque's pass offense. And they're going to get to the 29-yard line. And this is the first time I think that they have sniffed inside the 30-yard line tonight. 1st and 10, they got 2 receivers to the right. Dots is going to throw this one in a short pass. Finds Iniguez, and he's going to get some extra yardage. Turns a 3-yard play into a 9-yard play. 2nd and 1.
Definitely a nice pickup after the catch there by Iniguez.
Yeah, just a
showing his strength out there.
Straight in route, and just found open space down the middle. And like you said, Rochelle, their bread and butter against Philadelphia were passes down the middle. This time they're going to go with their short passes and do some, catch and run plays. 2nd down, handoff to Hunter. He stretches out to the outside, sheds off a tackle. He's got some space inside the 10, inside the 5, and he will score.
What?
Great drive from Albuquerque to start off this second half, and they've broken the goose egg. Now 21-6.
Oh, what a great, impressive run. He's the best run he's had this season so far.
Easily the best run this season. It all took just a
nice block there by Iniguez.
Excellent block from Iniguez. Great
Another one.
Good homer work there, Rochelle. Great calling your own player out there. But nonetheless, yeah, like you said.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm just messing with you. It's great, like you said, great blocks from Iniguez, and that's probably going to be key if they're going to continue using that run game. They need to use their receivers as blockers instead of just their offensive line, as the kick is up and good to give them a full 7 points here. Albuquerque now with some life, 21-7 here in Nashville. Now available, free to download. You can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K 23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search SFL and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL. Easton King gets a decent return up to the 35-yard line for Nashville, and now for the first time in this game, can Nashville find a response to an impressive Albuquerque offensive drive?
Yeah, I mean, Albuquerque came out firing all cylinders here after halftime. Maybe the receivers washed their hands in the locker room. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they used maybe Michael's secret stuff out there that might have been stored in their locker room since 1996. Nonetheless, 1st and 10, they're going to move Ketchum over to a receiver spot. Thumper back to throw. He's got a little bit of pressure. He's moving around. Finds Ketchum on the check down, and that's a decent check down. They're going to give him 5 yards before he heads out of bounds.
Yeah, that time, Thumper just kept backing up and made 20-yard pass for a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, and it looked like Thumper really wanted to throw that deep pass. But credit to Albuquerque's defense, they kept everyone deep in check, which forced the check down to Ketchum for the 5 yards. Now 2nd and 5, and they got a heavy set going. Weak eye, and they're going to hand it off to Ketchum, who's going to get open space down the line. Just needs to follow the line that the offensive line gives them. Easy 1st down for Ketchum.
Yeah, I mean, Nashville's doing a great job of switching up their backs, keeping them fresh. Get fresh legs up there just about every play.
And that's what we're going to see a lot in the Major League as well. We anticipate a lot more of those, extra spread of the wealth in terms of carrying the football out there as well, with the new rule changes coming up this season. If you haven't looked at the rule changes, head to the website for the full details. There's a handoff this time to Younger as he smashes one defender down, but doesn't get any more forward momentum than the 6 yards he gets. That's going to be 2nd and 4.
He's a big bruising back on the team, and Ace is more finesse. But you mix them both up, and you never know what you're going to get out there.
Yeah, and that basically creates that unpredictability of the Nashville run game, which has worked to great success in the first half. 2nd and 4, they have a strong eye, heavy set. They're going to go with Younger down the middle, and he's going to get another 1st down. He doesn't get touched before the 1st down marker. And then we've seen that a lot from Younger, where he just doesn't get touched until, 5, 6, 7 yards into the play.
Yeah, I credit the O-line there. They're creating the big gaps and big holes for him.
It has been an offensive masterclass in this first half for the Tempo line. Full credit to them as we go 1st down. 2 receivers, another heavy line set. They're going to give it to Younger again. Scratch that, it's one of the reserve running backs that's going to get open space. And forget about 2 running backs getting involved. They got a 3rd one to get a 1st down.
Oh, nice job of the backup to come in and get positive yards and a big gain at that.
And again, it's that offensive line getting the key blocks to get the running backs plenty of space to run. And that was a nice 15-yard gain that pushes them near the red zone.
You're pushing your free safety to make an open field tackle, which is kind of dangerous on a running back.
Exactly. If you mix that tackle, it's going to be an end zone city for any running back. This time they're going to drop Thumper back for a pass. Pressure starting to come off his side, but doesn't get it. And wide open in the end zone is Kenny Hendricks. And just like that, Nashville responds to Albuquerque's touchdown with one of their own, now 27-7.
There's no way a receiver should be that wide open in the end zone. He got behind the secondary, and Thumper just threw a bullet.
And there was some pressure breathing down the neck of Thumper. He just simply moved to his left, and Hendricks got the space to get open in the middle of the end zone and just nails it completely. Thumper throws an absolute laser beam to Hendricks where no other receiver could get to it. Then another touchdown on the board for the Tempo. Good response after Albuquerque, gave him a surprise shot in the jaw. Kick is up and good for the extra point for Yuki, as he's had some great duty so far with the extra points. Now making it 28-7 with 5:55 left to go. And that's just another shot in the gut for Albuquerque after they finally find the drive that they want.
I mean, there's still plenty of time in this game. You mean you are down 3 scores, but like I said, you had a whole quarter and a half left to go.
If I can take the wise words of Cameron Irvine, anything is possible in the SFL, and especially in the minor league. As Albuquerque will get this football back, they're going to start at the 1-yard line. Niguez going deep for this one. He manages to almost get to the 30-yard line, and that's where that speed comes key, because with any other returner, you're maybe lucky to get to the 25, but that extra yardage is going to help out, especially for Albuquerque.
He's dangerous. He returned one for a touchdown last week. So last week, a couple days ago.
Yeah, it feels it. We want to say last week because that's week 1 and this is week 2, but we're still in the same week. Very confusing for us here. But nonetheless, Roquan Dots looking to turn things around in the second half, and so far he has. He's found his targets. His receivers are catching the football. Now the second drive of the quarter and the second drive of the half for them. They're going to shift Iniquez to the right side. See if they get one-on-one coverage. Play clock down to 5. Quick drop for Dots, and he's going to find Iniquez, knowing that they were maybe going on deep coverage, so that open pass to Iniquez is going to be there. 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, not a bad play. Nice little pick up 7 yards. You have to take what the defense gives you, Brett.
That's exactly it, and that's what's impressive about the coaching staffs of both these teams. You take what you can get, no matter what the situation. And again, look at the Nashville defense secondary; they are dropped back deep. They're going to shift the fullback a little bit over. They're going to hand the ball off to Sylvia. And Sylvia doesn't get anything on that. The Nashville defensive line ready for a run. It's going to be 3rd and 3.
And that time the linebackers stayed home. They filled in the gaps. There was just no place for him to go.
Great work from Dallas Knowles, who finally got the end of that tackle. It's going to be 3rd and 3, and they're going to go heavy. I think they might pass it, or they might run this one more time, trusting that offensive line here. But instead they're going to drop back with one receiver. Fakes the throw. It's going to find a tight end over onto the right side, Jacob Riley. The first time we've said his name, or the second time we've said his name, second target of the game, gets a very deceiving first down for Albuquerque.
Yeah, I've seen him pass out this formation before last week, so I wasn't surprised by the defense was, I think.
Meanwhile, I was calling a Chicago game, and I didn't see that pass out of that formation, so it was a little bit of a shocker to me. I apologize. 1st and 10 here for Albuquerque here near midfield. They've got 3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. And they're going to shift the fullback, which is Eddie Maddox, the tight end, to his natural position. Stretch handoff to Kane Hunter, which is going nowhere. They're going to give him a yard on that, but I'd be surprised if that wasn't a no-yard gain.
They're not having much success on these outside runs tonight at all. They're having more success up the middle.
The stretch runs haven't worked. We've seen a toss play or two that has, but right now, like you said, the outside runs have not worked for Albuquerque through this game.
What? Okay. Lots of movement on the line there.
Very much, yes. On that right side, who's going to shift? Who wasn't? 2nd and 9. They're moving Riley again to that left side.
Uh-oh.
And it's they had the pass available to Iniquez on the left side. But again, it was in and out of his hands. This time it was jarred loose from a hit. 3rd and 9.
Yeah, that time, Dots felt the pressure coming. Had to get rid of the ball in heavy coverage once again.
And the secondary for Nashville has done fantastic work despite only one contracted corner on the team, and Bentley Bonner, he's been the key to that secondary for sure. 3rd and 9. This time it was Delro with the deflection. Excuse me. They're going to move the third receiver over to the left side. Dot's going to step back, fakes the throw. Not enough time to get that down. And Walters once again gets to Dots. That's his 2nd sack of the game.
And a blindside tackle. Quarterback never sees it coming.
And talk about a true blindside. That was right behind Dots as well. It just missed work from the lineman. Pushes Albuquerque back and forces them to punt here behind midfield.
Maybe they can pin him deep here.
That should be the goal for Albuquerque. Pin him as deep as possible. And they are going to try to coffin corner this. It gets a decent amount of hang time. And Nashville will start at the 22-yard line. So again, it's a little bit deeper than we're used to from Nashville's start of their drives. But this offense for Nashville has been second to none tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely firing on all cylinders.
They don't get you with Younger and Ketchum. It feels like Thumper finds Hendricks for those deep attacks. 1st and 10, split backs formation. They got Twins to the left. It's going to be a delayed handoff to Ketchum, and Sunny Sky had that one covered. So there wasn't going to be a big gain out of that, but Nashville still gets 3 yards out of it.
And I think Nashville's game plan so moving forward is just kill the clock.
At this point, with less than 13 minutes left in this game, I wouldn't be too surprised if they just went with a heavy run set throughout the rest of this game. They've got a 3-score lead, and that's totally fine. Another handoff, this time to Younger. And again, look at the open space that the offensive line gives them. It's great work from this offensive line, especially through this 3rd quarter, and gives Younger a 1st down.
And Brett, they're doing it right up the gut for the most part, which is very unusual.
Yeah, and you don't see those open spaces a lot down the middle. Sometimes that second line of defense, those linebackers, they have someone key in on those running backs, but Albuquerque just hasn't done it a lot in this game. Sunny Sky sometimes in position, sometimes out of position, despite his 10-plus tackles so far in this game. Thumper to drop back here on 1st down, trying to find, it looked to be Elliott Pope Jr., but it was under double coverage, 2nd down.
Yeah, that time it was Sullivan Tyson, the free safety with a deflection.
And again, we talk about these safeties playing different positions. We've seen Roscoe Jenkins play a corner role, and now Sullivan Tyson playing that free safety role, the true free safety role here. 2nd and 10 now for Nashville. It's going to be a run up the gut for Ketchum, and he's going to get 6 yards out of it, which is, again, kind of the game plan that Nashville wants, 3rd and 3.
Yep, your 0-1's creating holes. Your linebackers are playing off the line to get that gap in between them that's just wide open.
It's all about the gap, and we're not talking about the jeans store. 3rd and 3, they're going to motion it looks to be Leon Sandcastle coming from right to left. There's going to be a handoff, a little bit off tackle to the left, and Younger does... Oh, they're going to give him the 1st down. He looked well short of it, in my opinion, from the booth here. And rightly so, Albuquerque's going to challenge the spot of the ball here. And let's take a retroactive look at that, baby. Presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at goretroid.com. And Albuquerque's going to be challenging the spot of the ball. Rochelle, take a look at the replay. What do you see here?
Oh, he was short. I saw it in real time. He was short. Yep, right there.
Yeah, it was
about a yard short.
It was only the helmet that got to the line at most. Not even. About 6 inches short of the line. So this surely has to be overturned. And now this should be a 4th and 1 for Nashville as Albuquerque gets a successful challenge and potentially get this football back. Yet they're going to mark it 4th and 1. And you gotta ask yourselves, how do the refs, get 1 yard off on their initial marker?
I guess things are just moving too quickly on the field. We can see the replay.
I can hear the fans. Get some glasses. Charles Brown's going to punt this baby, and he got all of that one, getting it all the way to inside the 15-yard line. And the special teams unit for Nashville does great work to get to Iniguez as quickly as possible. Albuquerque is going to start at their own 22-yard line. So as Nashville started on their 22-yard line, Albuquerque will do the same here on the next drive.
Set.
Another heavy set. They got 2 receivers to the left. That twins formation, what we've seen a lot from Albuquerque through this game. They're going to shift the fullback to the weak side. It's going to be a toss play to that weak side. And it looked like he had a little bit of space on the outside, but Sylvia just couldn't get through. The Nashville defense has, like you said, they have found a way to stop the outside run. Second and 8. We're going to have the Twins on the opposite side. They're going to go right side This time with a heavy set on the tight ends. Dots back to throw. No time whatsoever for Dots to get that ball off. The third sack of the game for Nashville's defense. And it's just creating more pressure for Roquan Dots.
Yeah, Albuquerque's defense is definitely not performing the way they performed last week. I'm not sure what happened.
No, it's very interesting of how Nashville's defense just seems to turn things around after that. I feel like a broken record, but that first half against Lexington, they didn't look like the same team that we're seeing now. 3rd and 14. They've got 4 receivers out. The Adams do. Dots back to throw. He's going to sling that baby deep and finds a receiver. Gets the first down. Great work from Dalton Barker. Once again, another deep throw to Barker finds his target.
And surprisingly, last week, Dots loved Iniguez. This week he's finding Barker open instead.
That's very true. Barker only had 2 receptions for 33 yards last week. He's already got 2 receptions here for about 55. As the third quarter ends, Albuquerque finally gets on the board, but Nashville answered right back to make it 28-7 here in Nashville. This is the SFLm on YouTube. Fourth quarter about to start for Albuquerque. This is Brett Solberg along with Ray Rochelle Colston right beside me in the booth. This is first down for Albuquerque. And they're going to go with that twin set. Be a quick step drop for Dots. He's going to overthrow it just a little bit by his target. And again, it's the 5'10 Jonathan Hayes that he's overthrowing his target.
He's overthrown Hayes like 3 or 4 times tonight. Lucky that wasn't picked up by number 21.
That's very true. Sullivan Tyson, or, sorry, not Sullivan Tyson. I'm looking at the wrong rosters again. 21, like you said, potentially could have gotten that interception. So Roquan Dots maybe has to lower his passes, maybe specifically to Haynes. 2nd and 10. They're going to drop back once again. He's got a little bit of pressure, so he's going to have to scramble it out, and does get positive yardage. And they're going to give him 4 yards on that one, 3rd and 6.
You got to credit the Nashville secondary. They're locking their other receivers up. We're saying Dots actually run.
And a quick update from Bossier City, 21-17 in favor of the road team, San Jose Flight. And Cameron says it's a curse. It's the Solberg curse, which I don't think that's really true. First down. This time he finds his target in the 5'10 Jonathan Haynes. Great work from Roquan Dots.
Yeah, finally he finds Haynes and in stride and makes a great catch and first down.
Yeah, and that's what they need is to continue getting those first downs and see if they can turn these first downs into points. It's been their favorite formation in this game, that twins strong. They're going to toss the ball off to Sylvia. And again, that outside run just not working. That the offensive or the defensive linebacker core for Nashville has been really eating it up.
Definitely, but they need to do something else. They need to hurry up and score. They're down to their final quarter and they're 21 points down.
Yeah, and I think they need to start throwing out those receivers a little bit more. Get that 4 receiver quad set a little bit more love. Dots back to throw on a 5-step drop, moves to his left, throws to the opposite side and finds Iniguez. Throwing from his opposite side, maybe a little bit low, but nonetheless Iniguez gets it. Another first down.
That's impressive. You're rolling to your right, you throw across your body, and it's a little low, but it's still catchable.
Yeah, and for Iniguez, he can catch it from any level. You can throw it above him, you can throw it right at his chest, you can throw it at his knees. He'll still manage to catch it.
Just not to his hands, apparently.
Don't say that right now, because he might drop it at this point. Let's knock on wood. Roquan back to throw, finds Iniguez right down the hatchet of his chest and gets 9 yards on an out route. Great work from the Dots Iniguez connection.
So maybe the wide receivers have actually woken up now.
They laid off the popcorn. They've stopped eating the Ruffles potato chips that are so notorious for being greasy. I don't know about you, but every bag I grab from Walmart is just the greasiest bag of Ruffles chips.
Made just for you.
Yeah, maybe just for me. As Sylvia finds an open hole. They went with the off tackle inside run, and it worked for them this time to get the first down.
An impressive run. Nice little blocking there by number 32.
And give credit to 73 as well. If you wouldn't have blocked that outside, man, I don't think that Sylvia would have gotten more than maybe just 2 or 3 yards. So great work all around from the Albuquerque offensive line. 3 receivers out here for first down. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Dots back to throw. He's got a little bit of pressure, but is covered well by the offensive line. And Iguez cuts inside, manages to grab the catch, and gets another 5 yards.
Not a bad pass. You know, pressure was definitely coming. You have to dump it off wherever you can. Hang 2nd and 5, which is very manageable here.
And on that left side, they had the secondary go deep, whereas the right side worked tight. So they utilized that and got an Iguez on the quick in. 2nd and 5, heavy set formation. So they're going to toss it off to Hunter, and he's going to get plenty of space. Gets past the first marker and stops at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for Albuquerque.
Yep, they're doing a good job of scoring pretty quickly here. Clock is not their friend at this point.
No, and it won't be moving forward, so they need to continue, hustling things out, and that's indeed what they'll do. They'll get to their formation probably with 25 seconds left. And we've seen this formation once before with Nashville, where they have the one receiver up to the outside. And they're going to hand it off. This time Sylvia gets stopped right at the line. It looked like there was enough open space to get through, then gets stuffed at the line. 2nd and goal.
Great job by number 78, Connor O'Shaughnessy, with a big hit into that play.
Yeah, it's a key tackle if you want to stop any running back, because this feels like 80% running back territory at this point, as they're going to go with Hunter this time, and the defense once again steps up. And we have seen that linebacker a few times in this game get behind the line for a tackle loss.
If you're Albuquerque, you have to score a touchdown here. You can't settle for a field goal.
Is 3rd time the charm for Albuquerque here on 3rd and goal, outside the 2-yard line. One more time, they're going to cut inside for, there it is, Sylvia gets in. Albuquerque scores another one and reduces his lead to 15. Albuquerque has life again.
Now, after the extra point, we'll be a 2-score game. Defense needs to come out and get a big stop.
Yeah, that's the big key here. Albuquerque's defense moving forward needs to stop that dynamic Nashville offense that we've seen tonight. Extra point is up and good. Make it 28-14. Albuquerque still has a shot with just under 6 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter. And we'd like to remind you that APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production of the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Kenny Hendricks gets the return and gets a decent amount of yardage, starting at the Nashville 33-yard line. And like we stated just 30 seconds ago, Albuquerque's key here, quick 3 and out.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Nashville's going to show nothing but a run game here to run the clock, so they got to come up with a big stop and clog those holes in the middle, which the linebackers are playing back.
Like you said, key in on clogging those open gaps that the offensive line gives. They can hand it off to Ketchum, and that's a good start. Just 2 yards from Ketchum. Great work from Bowman to get the stop. Linebackers have to be ready for this 2nd down. Especially in this formation, they've done both run and pass. And I wouldn't be too surprised if this is a run up the gut again for Younger, though. They're going to move Sandcastle right to left. It is a run for Younger. It's going to be off tackle. And oh boy, you can see that from a mile away. That looked to be a horse collar. And they're going to rule it a face mask, and it is incidental, so they're going to tack 5 more yards onto that run, which is going to make it a more favorable 2nd and 2. Nashville's key is to shed this last 4 minutes and 50 seconds out of this game. And they're going to hand this off to Ketchum, who's going to get the first down. And that's all they want at this point. Get that offensive line to get those open holes for Ketchum, for Younger, and then maybe once every now and again get Thumper involved with the pass. But right now it's going to be run, run, run moving forward for the tempo, which I don't think they mind with a 14-point lead. They're going to motion their other tight end in the set. From left to right here on first down. Play clock down to 5. They're going to snap it off, fake it off to Younger, and get right to Ketchum. But the Albuquerque defense was ready for that. Sunny Sky getting behind the line once again, making it 2nd and 12. It looks like I lost my broadcast partner, Rochelle Colston. So for the time being, you're going to go solo with Mr. Brett Solberg here for the next little bit. But nonetheless, 28-14 is the lead for Nashville at this point. We have just gotten under 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 12. Offset I formation. They've got Hendricks on the left side, and they're going to move Cables McGill from left to right. Play clock down to 2. And they just get it off on time. They snap it off to Younger, and Sunny Sky once again gets to the running back. This time only getting 2 yards, setting up a 3rd and 10. And that's Nashville's key. Let's get those first downs and shed the clock. But for Albuquerque, this is the stop of the game. If you want it, 3rd and 10. It's gonna be it's a 3rd and long situation. This might be time for Switch Thumper to throw the football. They're going to have 3 receivers out with an offset running back behind. Play clock down to 6. Looking to use as much clock as they can. And they'll snap it at 2 and hand it off to Ketchum, who sheds off 1 tackle, trying to push forward for the first down, and is short. It's going to be 4th and 3, and Albuquerque has been given a lifeline. Big stop for Albuquerque, as Nashville would just shed this clock, and it looks like they'll have enough to get it to the 2-minute warning. As the play clock and the game clock are close between each other, but they still will have to, they don't need to snap it if they want to, because the game clock is a little bit ahead, but they will. And Charles Brown will try to pin them as deep as possible. Iniguez will get it at the 16-yard line and will push forward to the 23. And that will be your 2-minute warning for Albuquerque. Down 2 scores with 1:54 left officially. Can Albuquerque get back in this game? They need 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes. It may be insurmountable, but it's not impossible. This is the Simulation Football Minor League on YouTube. Minute 54 left in this 4th quarter. Albuquerque has the football. 1st and 10. Roquan's going to throw it out. He finds his target in Haynes for a quick first down, and they are going to call their first timeout really quickly. Right now, Albuquerque's key. Like we said in the first half, they have to focus on getting sideline catches. They don't want to use their timeouts too quickly, or else it's going to be a race against the clock for them. Full receiver set. Iniguez is going to move from right to left, move to the slot side, make it a trips bunch to the left. Roquan back to drop. He's going to throw it short. He's going to find Iniguez for 7 yards, and they are going to call their second timeout as I'm joined in at the booth by Cameron Irvine. Cameron, how have you seen this game so far?
Man, Albuquerque has been kind of scratching and clawing all game, Brett, and they've been trailing all night long, but they're starting to find their stride. Is it too little, too late?
Now it's the big question. They finally started finding their stride around a late portion of the third quarter. Now they're starting to drive here in this 2-minute warning. Roquan back to throw, finds Iniguez once again. Another short dump off, and it's going to cause them to use their final timeout. They used their 3 timeouts very quickly, so now it's a race against the clock.
Yeah, they got to push the ball down the field. It's not often you burn your 3 timeouts within the first 21 seconds of 2-minute offense. You could see Dots there is pressured. At one point, he was 8 of 20, so he's completed 8 of his last 10 passes, but got to push the ball down the field now.
Yeah, that's the big key here. You can't focus on short passes like that because the secondary has been ready for it throughout this game, especially down the middle. That's a dangerous pass thrown by Dots.
And this is where that 2-minute drill offense kicks in, and trying to figure out exactly, what your team responds to, and what you need out of your offense. Right now, honestly, that was probably a blessing in disguise that was incomplete.
Yeah, the biggest gain that they've had so far has been a 40-yard catch from their smallest receiver in Haynes, and they were looking for him, and it's intercepted. Nashville keys this one off. They're going to get their first win of the season by key secondary work by the most unlikely of players.
And, tonight, Albuquerque, or credit to Nashville's defense, because we haven't really talked about Iniguez as being this major factor in the game, and Nashville's defensive lineup is so thin. And consider this, in the last 6 quarters, they've given up just 14 points. That's a sign of a well-coached team when you don't have a lot of talent on one side of the ball, but yet you're still playing really good on that side of the ball. So big ups to Nashville. They're going to get their first win in franchise history, and they're going to leave Albuquerque searching for some answers. They're not done by any means. It's a double elimination tournament coming up. They've got next week to try and improve their seeding, but what a big win for the Tempo here in front of their home fans.
And you made a big point early on. Last 6 quarters for Albuquerque, only allowing 14 points. In a league that we've already seen 93 points scored from one team, the Chicago Warriors, only allowing 14 through 6 quarters is a huge accomplishment so early on in this season. Give full credit to the coaching staff in Nashville to prepare that thin defensive lineup for anything possible. And lots of credit to the secondary led by Bentley Bonner and Chris Delro to get that middle of the field that was so short up. Like, the only middle of the field passes that were completed were those short in routes to Iniguez, who couldn't break off and run past really 8 or 9 yards here tonight. So it's been great work game planning against this Albuquerque offense that scored nearly 40 points against Philadelphia. And it's just great credit. They're going to move themselves after this final knee to 1-1 and now get themselves in a good position moving forward. It's good to have at least that win in your belt after 2 weeks. It gives you a good feeling, and then you're all ready for Tuesday as 000s hit the marker here in Nashville, Tennessee, as the Tempo find themselves the winners, 28-14. Cameron, what was your key to the game?
Well, I think for Nashville, Switch Thumper kind of found some money in Kenny Hendricks. Kenny Hendricks started getting going in the second half of that Lexington game, and then they continued that here tonight. So the fact that they have found something in their passing game along with Younger and Ketchum in the backfield is big for their balance. 160 through the air, 186 on the ground tonight for Nashville. Now remember, Brett, in the double elimination tournament, when you're talking about tiebreakers, a lot of these teams don't have common opponent. The second tiebreaker is point differential. So the fact that Nashville was able to hold on to a 14-point win is going to help them in that point differential to muddy up the waters, because right now San Jose and Bossier City are playing a very close game, 24-21. Bossier City leads, but San Jose is driving. Y'all will have to join us over there with Charles Doherty and Cameron Duty on the call when we're done here.
It's been impressive work from Nashville overall. Like you said earlier, 4 straight quarters of 0 points allowed is a huge accomplishment for this team. And, for them, it's just going to be moving forward, because you just have to think they're going to they're going to stay at home. They're going to face a very tough, very game Philadelphia Cougar squad coming Tuesday, along with Chicago and Bossier City, along with Albuquerque and San Jose getting their home openers as well. But that will do it here from Nashville, Tennessee. On behalf of Rochelle Colston, unfortunately, couldn't finish the game with me, and with producer and commissioner extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, my name is Brett Solberg, and I wish you all a badoo.